I think what's important about this is it's not just guys that you haven't really heard of. You're dealing with Jason Dufner, who's never won a PGA Tour event, and he's 34 years old. And you're dealing with two PGA Tour rookies in Brendan Steele and Keegan Bradley, who have never even been to a major unless they bought a ticket until this week. So that's where the inexperience comes in. I think we've been researching it for most of the night, but the last rookie, which would be Brendan Steele, to play in the last group of a major, was a 25-year-old named John Daly back in 1991 at this championship. So, you know, it's not unusual, again, to have someone that maybe you weren't counting on when they tee it off on Thursday. It shouldn't be too terribly surprising, especially with these guys, specifically Steele and Bradley, immediately, because they have one on tour this year, and they didn't just kind of walk into it. Keegan wins in a playoff in Dallas, and Brendan was going tooth and nail all the way through at the Texas Open. So they've been through it before. Dufner not so much, but Dufner is probably, he might be the most predictable one of the bunch, just because he's so even keel. I mean, this guy makes Retief Goosen look excitable. Never has any emotion whatsoever, but that's part of his makeup. He doesn't get too high over a birdie, doesn't get too low over a bogey. It's cliche, but he's one of those guys that just walks on to the next shot and tries to hit it the best he can. The thing that I thought joined not only Steele but also Bradley is they both kind of messed up on the front nine, especially Bradley. I mean, this guy comes out, he's in the last group, and he double bogeys the first hole, which is, it's not an easy hole, but it's not a double bogey hole. And I think for most of the people who weren't sure who he is, you think, okay, well, I expect that. And then he comes right back and really doesn't have too many more wiggles the rest of the way. For Brendan, he's going along quite nicely, and then, here comes the wake-up call. We're on number 7. We slip down that ridge. It's not a false front, but if you come low of the pin, it's going to trickle back down a ramp. And now you're facing a steep chip, up the hill onto the green. Up once, up twice, finally gets on third, makes a double bogey, and there goes Brendan Steele, except that he comes back and makes 4 birdies in his next 7 holes. And he looked, both of them I thought showed a lot of determination and a lot of resiliency. The only trouble is this is Saturday.